Hey guys, what's up? It's Law coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Law. And today I have for ya a little more to report. I finally listened to how this sounds, and my takeaways, I suppose, are a bit mixed. I am a bit mixed because I don't know. I'm happy with the settings I have, although some of it still sounds a little bit harsh. So I kind of want to offset it a little more. But then at the same time, I feel like the resolution is somewhat lacking. And that is a difficult it's a difficult thing to balance because I assume that has to do with the off-axis nature I'm going for. And I'm trying to be off-axis because, again, the plosives and these little extraneous things seem pretty bad. And I also have all this foam in front of it to try to mitigate that as well. So, I don't know. It's always a give and take where I'm not really sure what to do. I could tweak the treble a little bit higher. I guess we'll see. I'm not really sure what the right choice is. I think the settings right now are fine, but again, something sounds a little bit off to me, but I don't know if that's just me being over persnickety, and then I also don't really know what I'm doing with these settings. So it's like I'm not really sure I would actually know what to adjust. And I'm just going to probably let it go for now. It sounded pretty fine. I think that if anything, I will reduce the effects slightly. Now, what do I have on the agenda to talk about today? I'm crazy. I don't know. That's what I wanted to just start right out the gates. I'm crazy. You know, I don't know many people quite like me. And I mean, maybe everybody can say that about themselves. I'm not really sure, but I don't know. Like, I felt like yesterday I found enlightenment, and I think today this kind of mindset continued. Like, I've still discovered enlightenment or inner peace, but we took like a decent regression. Like, it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? But I still want to, I want to say the trajectory is still where it should be, you know? That's what I want to say. I want to say the trajectory is still as it should. See, I'm worried because I did make it further off axis, and I'm worried that it's going to sacrifice clarity. I really wish they, like, as much as I love this microphone, I'm really not satisfied with the plosive rejection. Yeah, I don't think it's been a good, I don't think it's been a good situation. Because I have so much extra plosive buffering, and it's like, it's not even working. I don't know. Because I really have a lot, and I still hear it in the recording where it just sounds pretty obnoxious. And I have so much extra buffering. I'm trying to keep it at the corner of my mouth, but I think it's sacrificing clarity a little bit. And I don't really know what I'm doing. But again, I don't know. Am I overthinking it? It still sounds very good in general, but I could be dissatisfied with it. I should definitely stop being lazy and listen to how this recording sounds tomorrow. We will see how that goes. Anyways, yeah, I just feel like I'm crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. But I do think we're making some kind of like real progress. I do believe that. It's just kind of frustrating because now the world is like way going downhill. Like things are looking bad. Things are looking very bad right now in the world, and I as everybody else, I'm going to get affected by a lot of this stuff, you know. I buy a lot of things on eBay, get a lot of things shipped, and a lot of these extra fuel charges. I drive a fairly long commute to work, so I'm hit particularly hard by the... Now, I have a fairly new car that I drive fairly well, so I'm not wasting fuel, but still, you know, it's not good. I'm definitely going to be going through a lot of fuel, and it was nice because for a while I was able to get away with what I was doing, and now it's kind of... So yeah, I'm trying to rush to buy some things that I want, and I guess we're going to lock in for the true 2026 fairly soon. Now, you know, we're already January, February, March, 3 months into 2026. So not really doing a good job with the whole saving thing, but I guess it's showing now that I should have, because that was like the whole point, is that things are going to be locked down just as I thought. Was predicting all this, and as a result, I should have been saving, which I low-key was, but I was also splurging. So we will see. We will see what happens. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like I'm reaching a point where I've improved a lot, but the world is still not improving. The world is in a extremely terrible direction. I've thought of a lot of things recently, though. I've thought of a lot, and I'm just figuring out what I need. Is I need the views to start picking up. I need my channel to start picking up. I need my extra income to supplement all these charges, you know. I need my excess, you know. So yeah, I'm just joking, but you know, it's... Yeah, like times are, and I guess we knew they were coming, but I didn't think it would be this soon. You know what it's just going to be crazy. But like I said, I think I'm in a better situation than a lot of people. So I really shouldn't even be complaining, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how this could go. I think I was talking about yesterday, like, there's kind of a concern about this potential for people to start pillaging things, which that could happen. There could be things going into a major disarray. I'm not really sure what people are going to do. But like I said, I'm a part of, I would say, the privileged class where, again, homeowner... Like, I think the biggest... It's really going to hurt, I want to guess, the bottom 30 or 40% of people who are maybe renters and who don't really have any savings right now. They're just going to get completely hammered. But someone like me, I mean, I'm doing okay, you know. I'm doing okay, all things considered. So... It's like, but I'm not rich, but, you know, I'm doing okay. And I think that if the storm is even weatherable, is, you know, that I would be the one, or I'd hopefully be one of the ones to survive. I'm still not, again, I'm not really in the best position to weather this storm. I think, you know, it kind of makes me, because I kind of feel like my dialogue about this, it feels kind of lame to me, you know. In a lot of these car rides, recently, I want to say the past few months, I feel like I've been less crazy, and I've had less of my crazier ideas and inclinations. So I want to think about that for a little bit. You know, there was a time And it was especially during the walk switch laws era where I was really coming up with a lot of strange and interesting ideas. The necessity for a surveillance system and a lot of these necessities for modern changes. A lot of these modern changes that people fear and humans have a default aversion to, I was getting very obsessed with being okay with them, thinking that not only would they be a good thing, but they're actually required. And a lot of people, I think they like to dismiss that, but they're going to because they're biased to. But I think, and I'm probably going to talk to GPT about it, even though I have a feeling I know what GPT is going to say. The problem is that the system we have now it's actually so horribly inefficient that we do kind of need something to help fix things. Now, I don't know if surveillance is actually the answer, because I'm assuming to run that whole apparatus, it's probably going to be pretty costly, and all the data transmission, because it would be over the internet. Like if I'm driving right now and there's some kind of tracking done on my car, that's going to have to be transmitted via the internet. That could be very costly. It may be much less realistic than we assume. So I don't really know how to go about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it makes you think, it makes you wonder. Definitely does. Makes you think and it makes you wonder. But yeah, I mean, where does this take us? What I'm saying is I wonder if there was more, because I was really thinking of the future, but I think I ended up kind of retreating a little bit, and I've gotten quite comfortable with the material world. And I bought a lot of things, and I'm having a lot of fun. So I haven't really been thinking about, and I haven't been in that mindset, but I think a lot of the content I recorded then was very important, because we're actually seeing the origin of it right now. A lot of these attitudes and things that I've been way ahead of the game on, driving to optimize. I mean, I've been driving to optimize fuel economy since 2024. Like, imagine, like, it's hard to think about. It's hard for me to even think about that. It's been since 2024. And really since I've been driving from the start, in general, even with the gas the way it is, you still see people driving crazy. You still see people speeding. It's pretty funny to me, but, I'm not, I don't know what they're doing. It's like, I don't get it. People still speeding. But I should be more mindful of things and try to keep my speed. Because I was kind of going up to 60. I really should be hanging lower. But yeah, you notice like all these things change and people don't change. They're still driving like maniacs. I think it's just, wow. I mean, the way humans operate. Because like the whole point is these ideas of like a 4-day work week with longer shifts, because that's just inevitably more efficient. There's no reason to have the 5-day work week anyway. Well, there probably are reasons, but I think you get what I'm saying. I've been thinking about this stuff. I've been thinking to myself, and I hope one of the hopes out of all this commotion is that there actually will be some kind of a more efficient restructuring of things. Sadly, I don't really think that's what's going to happen. I think people are just going to be sloppy, crazy, and messy, and just, I don't even know. I just don't know what's going to happen, really. It's, usually that's what it is. Like, people won't change. They will just put strain on systems, and then they still won't change. Like, that's what I think's crazy, And yeah, I mean, you have to, I guess it's pretty tragic, the people that have cars that are, it's like difficult to, bigger engines and trucks and stuff. I mean, a good amount of people have them, and it's, things are going to be pretty rough for those kind of people. Because, yeah, if you're only getting like 20 miles per gallon, that's really, especially with how a lot of these people drive. So, yeah, I mean, it's people are going to be hurting. And like I said, I think I'd want to hope that there's going to be some kind of a moment where humanity has to say, yeah, we have some work to do. We have to do some restructuring because this is not working. But I'm just not sure that that's going to happen. I don't know that that's going to materialize, right? It's just not. I think that things could just get darker and people might take advantage. And that's honestly the direction I feel that we're heading in. And it's a shame. I mean, it's really a shame because it is finally a chance for people to care and to lock in and to start to think about these things that I've been talking about for ages. I've been kind of preparing for this. I mean, we're speedrunning it, but the truth is a lot of these issues are, they're coming anyway. Like this is nothing that we wouldn't have to deal with at some point. It's faster. So basically what I'm getting at is in a while, I don't see why it matters. Because even if it was slower, even if people cared more, I honestly don't think that humans were really going to do anything about it. I don't really think humans we're already not. I still theorize and feel, and I can't prove this, but I feel that peak kind of mindfulness of humanity probably peaked around the late 2000s and the early to mid 2010s in terms of where we were at culturally. I might not even say mid 2010s. I actually will say late 2000s to early 2010s. Things did seem like they were on an okay trajectory just all across the board. Not great, but okay. I think things seemed okay. But there were cracks, of course. I mean, honestly, the trajectory still didn't seem great. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, people's attitude about things seemed fairly coherent, and it just, things were all right. And I guess that's my point. I think we're beyond that, and so things have got steadily worse. I guess it's been fairly rapid, but there wasn't any real event besides maybe COVID. COVID was a big deal. But obviously, even with COVID, I feel like you can make the argument there wasn't too much major restructuring for the future. I guess COVID kind of normalized the idea of working from home and things like that, it's kind of the precursor to a more logical thought process where, obviously working from home makes a little bit more sense. Your employees don't have to drive as much. It's saving your employees money and, all that good stuff. it always kind of made sense. Like, there's no reason to just waste emissions to drive to an office, for example. It's a smart decision, but it should be voluntary, I guess, because, some people just don't like it and they can't. But no, it really, from a logical standpoint, if you can knack it, there's no reason that people should not be just in general encouraged to work from home. It is an incredibly wise decision. In my case, the amount of extra cost I have to pay just to drive to and from work is substantial. Especially now, it's even more substantial. And yeah, it's not good. So anyways, yeah, I mean, COVID did kind of make people need to think a little bit more. But here's the whole thing. Post-COVID, I actually still think things are less efficient than they were. Like, broadly speaking, I still think things are less efficient than they were. I don't think that things are more efficient since COVID. I think maybe there were minor tweaks, but I think overall, not really. Overall, even that event, I don't think we actually saw a true kind of moment where we thought and tried to figure things out, a true restructuring, a true recalibration or recalculation for how we should handle things and how we should create our systems. I don't think I saw that. I don't think we as a humanity got that out of COVID. And that's kind of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we're speedrunning the destruction, but a lot of these things are like, I don't know that they wouldn't have happened eventually anyway. There were already so many issues in the economy. I mean, make an oil spike is obviously like a mega problem. Like, you can't even, I mean, that it could be one of the worst issues, period. But there were already so many other issues on top of that. I mean, even if the price of oil like just kept trickling down as it was, the house of cards would fall down eventually. We're going to be dealing with other problems anyways. So the other problems are like clean water is legitimately, at some point going to become a more difficult resource to obtain. Again, a lot of these things, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so in a way, I don't really see how, like, I just don't see, and it's a little bit foolish to think that AI could save things, but I feel like that's the only possibility would be for something to finally be able to figure things out and for us to be able to look at it with a sense of singularity and actually act on it and do the right thing. Because right now there's a lack of institutional trust, and that leads to a lot of inefficiencies. But it's not like it isn't warranted. I think we are valid to have our lack of institutional trust. But, having institutions who you can trust and who do work as guidance, this is an important thing. And it's very efficient. It's extremely efficient to have positive, good institutions. Like, it is just like a superior, it's like everybody is on their own. You're inevitably going to have problems. So I do think that, but again, the problem is AI is kind of inefficient. It's right now generates a lot of heat. It uses up a lot of electricity. It's tricky. It's a little bit difficult to justify outright. It kind of just is kind of just like that, where, yeah, it has a lot of potential, but we still need some more development to occur. We can't just expect that this thing is going to, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. And that's what I'm saying though. I think some of it is faded, and it's I guess it's really interesting that I'm alive to witness this stuff and document it, I guess. I really shouldn't be taking that for granted, especially because, as I was just talking yesterday, I mean, there's a sizable portion of people that are just scrolling TikTok. They're out getting ice cream right now, and I'm like here talking about it. And I'm not an expert yet. I'm still a child, basically. I actually have a feeling that my commentary on this will hopefully just only get sharper as time goes on, and I'll have, because I still say things veiled. Honestly, don't even treat everything I've said on this channel with all that much seriousness, because some stuff I've said is just not exactly what I believe, because I guess I don't really have the confidence. But some stuff is. I mean, that was genuine, the surveillance obsession, for example. But not everything. Some stuff I've said on here, I don't know that I actually agree with, or when I said, yeah, I'm not really sure. I just like to keep things veiled. But yeah, I mean, my commentary about these things, I hope it's going to sharpen as time goes on. I already feel that it has. Like, if I would have started recording this show in 2024, it would have been interesting, but I don't think I think there was probably a reason for the delay. Like, as much as I want the transcripts from, my teenage years, I think that it was probably, because I still feel like I was a mess. I still feel like I am a mess, and it's probably going to take a little bit longer for me to be more coherent, because I'm way behind. Like, I never practiced speaking, or I never really did any of this stuff besides just personal conversation. And even that was relatively late, because I only started going hard on Discord from when I was like 17 to like 21. So that's like pretty late, and it's just 4 years. And prior to that, I lacked a lot of social experience. I think I had relatively good friends and experiences in elementary school, and I just didn't really have any falling outs with people until I was like 14. And then I had a period like 14, 15, 16, 17 of being relatively antisocial. And then, 17 through 21, I had my bouts back and forth between periods of isolation, periods of hyper-socialization. And I've only gained experience as time has gone on, but I still would say my social experience is limited. I wouldn't say that it's a vast degree or a vast amount, but it's definitely, I mean, I've gotten more than I did back then, and everything was very late. So again, like I said, I'm sure now if I listen back to some stuff I recorded, I wouldn't agree with it entirely, or I would think it's kind of off. And then, in this case, I think I am getting sharper. I think I'm getting sharper, and I want to try to reach back into how my brain was back then, because I think it's important. I think it's a lot of stuff that it's coming to fruition earlier than I thought. I think the idea of a project, I don't even know what it was called, Project 2030 or Agenda 2030 or something. We're really seeing it now. I think this is the framework. You already have a fragile economy, and now you're getting hit with the oil problem. So yeah, it's really the perfect storm to start to implement a lot of these things. The abolition of private property, and a lot of stuff that people aren't going to like. But I really think we're moving fast. I think a lot of this stuff, it completely adds up in my mind. I don't really know what else to say. I like, I see it. I don't know. Now, I was talking about it. I was talking, a lot of these, but that's okay. My point is, though, we are speed running it. Yeah, it would be more optimal if it wasn't like this, but I have a feeling it's somewhat fated to have happened this way, or destined. Humanity would not have changed. They're already not. Even now, they're not. Like, this is happening right now. This war is happening right now. And I don't even think all that many people have much fight or care in them about what's happening or the damage that will be done. Like, it's very strange. I keep saying this. I've talked to multiple people about it. It just seems like a lot of people are not really. I really think it's, people's attention spans are short. People are all kind of a mess right now. They're drenched in entertainment, and this is what we're seeing. This is what we're getting. Like, this is it. I think that for Iraq and Afghanistan, it was much different. I think people were more aware of what was going on and concerned about it and involved. And right now, it just does not seem like that. It seems like there's plenty of people still living life, having fun, and just not really too concerned about things. Just kind of whatever's happening. And, yeah, I don't know. I think that I do. I mean, I can't control it. I kind of feel like whatever's getting transmitted to me, it's coming from somewhere. And so I can't force it, but it's like, really, I mean, a lot of those walk, switch, flaw, and that whole era, it was so foreshadowing to the things now. I mean, I've always been talking about material management and material scarcity, and we're getting hit with that. It's happening. I like, this could be it, So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens, but I think it's true that humanity is getting tested, and I have to kind of think about, even in my own lens, my own materialism, and just what I've dealt with in general, and just what I'm trying to do with myself and figuring this whole mess out. Because I feel like I was more onto it then, and then I've kind of gotten, like I said, a little bit like silly or unimpressive. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I kind of regressed a little bit. I almost felt those walks. It's the walks, and we'll actually be able. I think I'm going to start up walk, switch, flaw again, potentially. The thing I wanted to mention, though, but I don't even have enough time to get into this, but it was that, during my breaks at work, it is good and nice to maximize and talk and stuff, but it's also nice to just have time to think. I think that's also important too. That's kind of what I was mentioning, even with these car rides. I think I should probably experiment with just like silent car ride, mic off, and just do that, see how it goes. Because I'm recording enough content and I don't need to do extra. So like, if I did one walk, switch, law, and then I could skip a car ride, like, I need to start to think about that too. Because those thoughtful moments, those are important as well. It's not just about always running, always talking, because that's important, but that's not, the most important thing. You know what I mean? The most important thing is going to be whatever I was talking about. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So Anyways, it's, as you can imagine, it has been about schla, and it's time to be about schla. So it's been schla, and now it's time to buy schla. So see ya schla.